Today on Athletic Dive, we're looking at the top 10 NFL teams that could make a big case to be a Super Bowl contender this season. Let's jump right into it. This one doesn't require a lengthy explanation. The Chiefs have the best and most versatile quarterback in the NFL, a player who can punish you in myriad ways, and the most creative play caller in the league. That said, I think we can safely forecast a bit more struggling this year. The Chiefs greatly outperformed their Pythagorean win-loss expectations from 2020, thanks in large part to a pandemic that throttled the offseason and weighted advantages on existing successful quarterback-coach combinations. This year, they'll be in a much tougher division, featuring Vic Fangio's most talented defense to date and Brandon Staley, who, while defensive coordinator of the Rams, nearly broke a record for fewest second-half points allowed in NFL history. Tampa's tough, duo-laden run scheme punished opponents late in the season and borrowed well from a vintage Belichickian strategy that often saw his teams morph into power punchers late into the season. Now that they've retained their entire roster, they can build on some of their major strengths and attack the field with a more diverse blend of the Brady and Bruce Arians offense. The Browns were one of the most balanced teams in the NFL last year, despite some glaring holes on the defensive side of the ball. While it's always difficult to place too many expectations on the shoulders of rookie corners and hybrid linebackers, the additions of Greg Newsome II, Tony Fields II, and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah made them significantly tougher and more versatile in a division that requires thickness to fend off serious downhill running, flexibility to match mobile quarterbacks and good tight end play, and multifaceted coverage skills for the wide variety of deep threat receivers. If Cleveland can build on its success from a year ago and find itself as a slightly more capable team defending the pass, it could surge to the conference championship. While the Bills may have ultimately missed their window considering Josh Allen will soon receive a massive contract, they are still a tremendously well-coached team with a sound defense and one of the best matchup-based offensive coordinators in the NFL. Allen's ability to scare teams as both a deep passer and power runner made Buffalo a continuous threat in 2020 and will likely do so again this year. The Packers, much like the 49ers, have mastered the Mike Shanahan-Alex Gibbs outside zone system that perfectly marries the run and pass games together. Once a system like this is perfected and the roster is built around it, you become stronger with the years each coach and quarterback spend in the offense. We're told the addition of Matthew Stafford will make the Rams a completely different team this year, though that remains to be seen. Interestingly enough, the Rams were a potent offensive team when Sean McVay was pulling the puppet strings in Jared Goff's helmet before the snap. What happens now when there is more autonomy and, theoretically, creativity at the position? At best, Stafford hits all the throws Goff couldn't or didn't recognize were there. This is still a team that bullied its way to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo under center 2 years ago. The 49ers were decimated by injuries last year, and by the middle of the season, were completely unrecognizable from the juggernaut that seemed to be forming the year before. Kyle Shanahan is still a sharp mind, and while he lost a ton of brain power on the coaching staff this offseason with the departures of Robert Saleh, John Benton, and Mike LaFleur, he still has the talented Mike McDaniel at his side, along with offensive line guru Chris Forrester. With Dak Prescott back and healthy, all things are possible. While the jury is still out on Mike McCarthy sans Brett Favre or Rodgers in terms of his ability to run an operation and read a room, the Cowboys have made significant strides this offseason to shore up glaring issues. This is one of the most complete teams in football. Should Rock Ya-Sin take a step forward, helping the Colts round out their secondary instead of merely masking it, Indianapolis could not only cruise to an AFC South title, but make some noise in the playoffs. Having a gifted playmaker like Lamar Jackson ensures you'll be in the mix regardless of how circumstances fall around him. Last season was a disappointment, largely a reflection of some financial decisions the Ravens probably wish they could have back, as well as some critical roster happenings out of their control. The additions of two capable wide receivers into the scheme should be enough to bolster an offense that found itself susceptible to pressure, given the team's tendency to run the ball.